Let's talk about where your heating money is actually going. Heat doesn't just disappear evenly from your home. It rises. And when it rises, it hits your loft. And if that loft isn't properly insulated, it escapes straight through the roof. In an uninsulated home, it's estimated that around a quarter of all heat loss happens through the roof. That's not a small leak. That's a quarter of your heating bill, gone, every single month. Here's why so many homes get this wrong. Insulation isn't something you see. You don't walk past your loft hatch and think, I wonder what's up there. It's out of sight, so it's out of mind, until you get a heating bill that makes you wince, or you notice one room is always colder than the rest. A lot of people assume the fix is expensive. They picture builders, scaffolding, weeks of disruption. So they put it off, year after year. Meanwhile, the money keeps leaking out through the roof quietly every single day. But here's the thing. Attic insulation is one of the few home improvements that's genuinely simple, genuinely cheap, and genuinely effective. You don't need a contractor. You don't need specialist tools. You need an afternoon, the right materials, and a bit of patience. Before we talk about fixing it, let's talk about what you're actually looking for. Climb up into your loft, safely, using a proper ladder, and mind where you step, more on that in a moment, and take a look at what's actually up there, thin or patchy insulation. If you can see the tops of your ceiling joists poking through the insulation, it's too thin. Current recommendations suggest a depth of around 270 millimeter for mineral wool insulation. If yours is sitting at 50 or 100 millimeter, or worse, if it's patchy with bare gaps, you're losing heat right through those thin spots. Compressed insulation. Older insulation, especially if anything has ever been stored on top of it, gets compressed flat. Compressed insulation loses most of its effectiveness because it's the trapped air inside the material that actually does the insulating work. Flatten it, and you flattened its performance. Gaps around the loft hatch. This is one people almost always miss. The hatch itself is often the single biggest gap in the whole loft. A rectangle of thin board with no seal around the edges, sitting directly above a hallway or landing. Warm air rises, hits that hatch, and slips straight through the gaps around the frame. Drafts around pipes and cables. Anywhere a pipe, cable, or vent passes through the ceiling into the loft, there's usually a small gap. Individually, they seem tiny. Added together across a whole loft, they let out a surprising amount of warm air. Damp or discolored insulation. If you spot insulation that's damp, moldy, or has water staining, don't just cover it up. That points to a ventilation or leak issue that needs sorting first. Otherwise, you're insulating over a problem rather than solving it. Gaps at the eaves. This is where the roof meets the outer walls, right at the edges of the loft. It's a common spot for insulation to be missing entirely because it's awkward to reach and easy to skip. Take your time here. A slow, proper inspection with a torch is what tells you exactly where your money is escaping. Before anything else, a proper loft ladder, not a wobbly step ladder. Good lighting, ideally a head torch, so both hands stay free. Knee pads or a piece of board to kneel on, and this is critical. Only step on the joists, the wooden beams. Never step directly on the insulation or the ceiling material between joists, because that ceiling won't take your weight. And that's how people end up putting a leg through their own ceiling. Wear a dust mask and gloves too. Old insulation can be itchy and unpleasant to handle. Move any boxes, decorations, or stored items out of the way first. You can't insulate properly around clutter, and it's much easier to work in a clear space. This step gets skipped constantly, and it's arguably more important than the insulation itself. There's no point laying thick insulation on top of a loft that's still drafty underneath it. Use expanding foam or a proper sealant around pipes, cables, and any gaps where they pass through the ceiling. For the loft hatch, a simple foam draft excluder strip around the frame. The same kind used on doors makes a real difference, and it costs just a few pounds. If your hatch doesn't have a proper cover or insulation on the back of it, you can fix a piece of rigid insulation board directly to the hatch itself. This is the main event. If you're topping up existing mineral wool insulation, buy rolls of the same material and lay a second layer directly on top of the first, but running in the opposite direction. So if your existing insulation runs parallel to the joists, lay the new layer across them perpendicular. This crossing pattern covers the joists themselves, which are often a weak point because bare wood conducts heat far more easily than insulation does. Unroll it, cut it to length with a sharp knife or scissors, and press it gently into place. Don't compress it. Insulation works by trapping air, so you want it sitting at its full, fluffy thickness, not squashed down. At the edges of the loft, where the roof slopes down to meet the walls, insulate right up to the edge, but leave a small gap at the very eaves themselves where air enters from outside. This gap allows the loft to breathe. Blocking it completely can trap moisture and lead to damp problems down the line, which is a much bigger headache than the one you started with. Step 6. Don't insulate over what shouldn't be covered. Leave a small clear space around any downlights that poke through the ceiling, unless they're specifically rated to be covered, since insulation trapped around a hot fitting can be a fire risk. Same goes for extractor fan housings. Check the manufacturer guidance before covering them. If you want to keep using your loft for storage afterwards, don't just lay boards directly on top of your new, thicker insulation that compresses it and undoes your work. Instead, use raised loft legs or spacers that lift the boarding above the insulation, leaving it able to sit at full thickness underneath. Skipping the draft sealing step and going straight to insulation, which leaves the loft looking finished but still leaking air. Compressing insulation by storing boxes directly on top of it. Blocking the eaves ventilation completely, which invites damp. And forgetting the loft hatch entirely. It's such a small piece of the loft, but it's often the single biggest gap. Depth matters more than most people think. Going from 100 milliliter to 270 milliliters of mineral wool insulation isn't a small upgrade. It roughly doubles the insulating performance for a relatively small extra cost, since you're only buying enough material to top up, not replace what's already there. Choose the right material for your loft. Mineral wool rolls are the most common, affordable, and easiest to install for a DIY job. If your loft has an unusual shape or awkward gaps, loose fill insulation, which you pour and spread rather than roll, can fill those irregular spaces more easily. Don't forget the loft hatch. It genuinely punches above its size when it comes to heat loss. A cheap insulated hatch cover or a simple foam and draft strip fix takes 10 minutes and makes a noticeable difference. Check for ventilation, not just insulation. A loft needs airflow to stay dry. If you're topping up insulation and also adding boarding, make sure you're not accidentally sealing the space up completely. If you're not confident about anything involving electrics or your roof structure, that's the point to bring in a professional. DIY insulation is genuinely straightforward for most lofts. But if you spot damage to the roof structure itself, or you're unsure about anything near wiring, it's worth getting it checked properly rather than guessing. Picture the loft as it was. Thin, patchy insulation with joists poking through, gaps around the hatch, drafts sneaking in around every pipe and cable. Every one of those was a quiet little exit route for the heat you paid to create. Now picture it after. A thick, even unbroken layer of insulation running the full depth of the loft, gaps sealed, the hatch properly draft-proofed, and the eaves still breathing as they should. It's not flashy. Nobody visiting your home will ever see it, but you'll feel it. In rooms that hold their warmth longer, in a heating system that doesn't have to work as hard, and in a bill that reflects it. That's the whole job. No scaffolding, no contractors, no major renovation, just a proper inspection, some sealing, and topping up the insulation to the right depth. It's one of those improvements that's invisible once it's done, but you notice the difference every single time the temperature drops outside. If this helped you understand what's really happening above your ceiling, give it a like and subscribe for more practical, no-nonsense home improvement guides every week.